Joseph Stalin's rise to power is a complex and intriguing story of political maneuvering, ruthless ambition, and opportunistic leadership. Born on December 18, 1878, in the small town of Gori, Georgia, Stalin rose from a modest background to become one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. His journey to power was marked by a series of strategic moves, alliances, and cunning tactics that allowed him to ascend to the highest position of authority in the Soviet Union. Stalin's early life was marred by hardship and tragedy. His father was an alcoholic cobbler, and his mother worked as a laundress to support the family. Despite his challenging circumstances, Stalin managed to secure a scholarship to attend a theological seminary, where he was exposed to radical political ideas. It was during this time that he became involved in revolutionary activities, joining the clandestine Marxist groups that sought to overthrow the Tsarist regime. In the early 1900s, Stalin aligned himself with Vladimir Lenin and the Bolshevik faction of the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party, RSDLP. He quickly rose through the party ranks and played an instrumental role in organizing various revolutionary activities, including strikes and acts of sabotage. Stalin's skills as a party organizer and propagandist earned him Lenin's trust and respect. The Russian Revolution of 1917 marked a turning point in Stalin's political career. As the head of the Bolshevik Central Committee's Organizational Bureau, he played a pivotal role in planning and executing the October Revolution that brought the Bolsheviks to power. After the Bolsheviks took control of the government, Stalin was appointed as People's Commissar for Nationalities, responsible for the administration of ethnic affairs within the newly formed Soviet state. During the early years of Soviet rule, Stalin maintained a relatively low public profile, focusing on his administrative duties and consolidating power within the party. He became a member of the Politburo, the highest decision-making body of the Communist Party, and served as the General Secretary from 1922 onwards. This seemingly low-key position would prove to be instrumental in his rise to power. As General Secretary, Stalin wielded considerable influence over appointments and party organization, enabling him to cultivate a network of loyalists throughout the party bureaucracy. While other Bolshevik leaders were busy with political and ideological debates, Stalin was quietly consolidating his power base by appointing his allies to key positions and removing potential rivals. The death of Vladimir Lenin in 1924 created a power vacuum within the party. A struggle for succession ensued, with various factions vying for control. Stalin, together with Lev Kamenev and Grigory Zinoviev, formed a triumvirate that initially opposed Leon Trotsky, a prominent Bolshevik leader and military strategist, who was seen as one of the main contenders for leadership. Stalin's tactics during the power struggle were characterized by deceit and manipulation. He skillfully used the party apparatus to discredit Trotsky and other opposition figures, labeling them as enemies of the state and promoting the idea of socialism in one country as opposed to Trotsky's vision of permanent revolution. By appealing to nationalism and portraying himself as the defender of Soviet interests, Stalin managed to gain popular support and eliminate his rivals. In 1927, the triumvirate of Stalin, Kamenev, and Zinoviev turned against Trotsky and successfully ousted him from the party leadership. This marked a significant step in Stalin's rise to power, as he now emerged as the uncontested leader of the Communist Party and the Soviet Union. Over the next few years, Stalin consolidated his control over the party and the state apparatus. He launched a series of purges to eliminate perceived enemies, both real and imagined, within the party and the military. The Great Purge of the late 1930s resulted in the imprisonment, exile, and execution of millions of people, including many high-ranking party officials and military officers. Stalin's leadership during World War II further solidified his position. Despite early setbacks in the war, he played a crucial role in leading the Soviet Union to victory over Nazi Germany. His inspiring speeches and strong leadership earned him the admiration and loyalty of the Soviet people. By the end of World War II, Stalin had become an authoritarian ruler with absolute power over the Soviet Union. He transformed the country into a totalitarian state, where dissent was ruthlessly suppressed, and the state controlled all aspects of life. The economy was centrally planned, and collectivization of agriculture led to widespread famine and hardship. Stalin's rule was marked by both significant achievements and severe repression. Under his leadership, the Soviet Union industrialized rapidly, becoming a major world power. However, the price of progress was high, with millions of people suffering from forced labor, persecution, and political repression. Stalin's death on March 5, 1953, marked the end of an era. His legacy remains deeply controversial, with some viewing him as a brutal dictator responsible for the deaths of millions and others as a leader who modernized and defended the Soviet Union from external threats. In conclusion, Joseph Stalin's rise to power was a multifaceted and strategic process that involved a combination of political maneuvering, elimination of rivals, and manipulation of public opinion. From his early days as a revolutionary to his ascent as the undisputed leader of the Soviet Union, Stalin's story is one of ambition, cunning, and the ruthless pursuit of power. Despite the significant achievements of his rule, his legacy is tarnished by the immense human suffering and repression that occurred under his watch. Understanding Stalin's rise to power provides critical insights into the complexities of political leadership and the consequences of unchecked authority.